Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sanity stream with Lucius Cole, the place where you go to gain a little bit of your sanity back in what has become a crack-riddled election in the United States of America. If you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course, leave a comment if you think I deserve it. With that said, let's get straight into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, all of you know exactly what's going on right now with Hunter Biden. Mr. Crackhead himself, of course, a lot of information trickling down, and apparently a majority or the major bombshell is going to be released 10 days prior to the election. So we can all look forward to that. It's just little poison drips at this point, and this is the October surprise that is very, very infamous and comes out every single year. A huge bombshell is dropped, so you can expect it in the weeks to come. With that said, what I want to go into is this particular clip in which Rudy Giuliani, who is actually the one who gave the New York Post this information that ultimately led to the censorship from Twitter and Facebook, as well as now Google and YouTube jumping into the mix. He's going to break down some of the things and some of the facts about what's going on in this particular case. So let's highlight it right here.
The big mouth lawyer made a very big mistake. Before this was even out, when it was just they were called about it, first thing he does is call that merchant. And he says, can I have my client's hard drive back? So he's basically admitting for his client, as his client's agent, that's Hunter Biden's hard drive. And if you would like to send a representative of
Wow. I mean, if you are a lawyer for Hunter Biden right now, going out there and seeking out the hard drive only goes to show that the information that's being presented is accurate. Why would the lawyer go out of his way to try to attain that information and receive it if it wasn't his client's information? So, again, the Biden campaign hasn't pushed away any of this. Actually, just today, it is being stated in the media right now that Joe Biden is not going to come out for the next 4 days. He's not going to come out until the debate on Thursday. Seriously? He's been putting a lid for the last 3 months. He has shown up less than 40% of every single day that passes by. And yet this guy is somehow going to outwork our current president, Donald Trump? Can someone explain that to me? Because that doesn't make any sense. This guy is an old, decrepit fool who has no good intentions and is clearly not fit for the presidency, as well as being compromised because of the obliviousness and ridiculousness of his son. Also, there's information coming out right now, allegedly, that there are some little people, I think you know what I'm talking about here, we're working around the algorithm, some little people tapes that are on Hunter Biden's hard drive. And of course, if you haven't seen the video that I posted yesterday, I'm going to post it right here, where a video that was released on September 24th highlights the details of what's going to be dropped with the Hunter Biden emails and the Hunter Biden laptop. You heard that right, guys. September 24th, this video was released. Which goes to show, because we only found out about this, like 5 or 6 days ago, this information has been in the hands of the CCP and Communist China for a while now. So check that video as well. It's doing very well in the algorithm. And I really appreciate all of you guys who are going out there and sharing this type of stuff. Let's continue.
your show to my office, I have you take a look at it. You tell me if it isn't authentic. It's authentic as hell. Some of those pictures on it can only have come from him. And I'll tell you why I know it for sure. I have about 10 pieces of confidential information nobody knows, except me and Hunter Biden. Kept it that way. You know, I investigated cases of 50 years. Every one of those hits the mark.
Rudy,
every one. In other words, I have an anonymous source. I'll give you an example. I have an anonymous source that reports on a meeting at the State Department, which would violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And Hunter Biden was taken in the back door and kept off the books. The gentleman who was involved in it and who told me about it had the date. I've had that for a year and a half. That very date shows up in his emails. There are 5 emails setting up that appointment, that date, that exact time.
I mean, the real problem with this information, because it really is, it's great. Obviously, it helps Trump out tremendously. And given that it's so close to the election, we need every single piece of information and dirt, I mean, I hate to say it, that we can possibly get in order to make sure that President Donald Trump is reelected. But despite that fact, don't expect the mainstream media, and certainly not even social media at this point, to allow this type of information to go out in mass. And it's very, very scary. It's actually insanely scary. And I really just want to highlight this meme right here. It says, "You're fired." It's got all these things on it, right? Major corporations, sports leagues, Twitter, Facebook, Communist China, Antifa. You got the infamous little people bear up there, if you know what I'm talking about. Rothschild. I mean, guys, what is going on? Whether you're on the right or you're on the left, you should be able to agree that we don't want our information suppressed. Because you people on the left who are cheering on that information is being held down, you are not a liberal. That is not what liberal values are. Liberal values are free speech. And this continuation onto the left is moving way past socialism at this point. It's moving into communism. And honestly, I had an idea the other day, and probably it's already been done before, but the left have the Antifa, right? And this is pushed out as just an idea. What if we, for example, started something like anti-com? Okay? So we have anti-com and we have Antifa. Antifa being anti-fascist, while albeit being one of the most fascist organizations in the United States. But then we will have anti-com. And I'm pretty sure you know what anti-com means. Anti-communist. I don't know, guys. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Anti-com. Does it wet your lips? Does it get you excited knowing that you are fighting against dirty, dirty commies? Because it gets me stoked. It gets me stoked, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, on to the next one. Again, I'm sick of the left. I'm sick of the right. Just do something about these companies. At this point, I, you know, I'm pro free market, but this is a town square. This is supposed to be a platform where people are able to speak their truth. These companies have gone way beyond the power that they were ever supposed to have. And people might say, "Oh, my private platform, my private platform. Why don't you just go to one of the alternatives?" The alternatives like Parler, like Odyssey, like BitChute, not only do they not have the proper coding, because really they're just not streamlined. They don't have the servers, they don't have the money behind them. They are way behind the eight ball. And then on top of that, Google, as well as these other these other search engines, they go out and make sure that if you are searching for something on Google, which is what most people use, it gets sent in to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. I recommend DuckDuckGo. For those of you who haven't made the switch to DuckDuckGo already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Make the switch. DuckDuckGo. It is the premier search engine for people that are actually looking up results. Real results, not skewed results. But with that said, guys, we know exactly what's going on. I mean, these polls that are being pushed out right now saying that Biden is double-digit lead, and actually a report was dropped yesterday from, I believe, the campaign manager of the Joe Biden. Don't quote me on that, but it was someone within the Joe Biden camp stating that Biden is not winning by double digits, and that Trump can still win. I don't know if he's using this as kind of leverage to get the base out there because, of course, when people think they have a huge chance of winning, I think it was what Hillary Clinton was stated to have a 98% chance of winning last election. People didn't even bother to come out and vote because they thought there's no way Donald Trump wins. And of course, we have the enthusiasm behind us. We have the liberty. We have the patriots. We have the love. Giant rallies left and right. But of course, we must do our very best to get out there and vote, guys. Get your friends, get your family, get your coworkers, get everyone out there with you voting. This is this is said literally every year, guys, but this really is. I think this may be the most important election of our lifetime. It really may be. So get your friends, get out there and vote. We got to stop the steal, guys. Donald Trump posting bins full of ballots in a dumpster. Check it out.
Albany.
More than 100 Jefferson County absentee ballots were found in the trash.
WDRB's Lexi Ratterman explains what will happen with these undelivered ballots. Lexi.
Chris, Candace, the federal agents who pulled all of those ballots out of the dumpster in Jeffersontown say they've already been taken back to the post office for immediate delivery. They were found bins full of ballots in a dumpster that was at a house under construction on Galen Drive in Jeffersontown. That's near.
But don't worry, guys. It's a safe election, guys. Guys, it's a safe election, okay? You can't go out there because everyone has the the coof, and you have to protect yourself, guys. You have to protect yourself, and the only way that you should vote is going out there and mailing in your ballot. Screw that, guys. Screw that. Show up in person. If you can't show up in person, have an absentee ballot and verify on the election day that your vote was counted. If you can't do that, then vote early when less people are going to be there if you are actually afraid of this coof stuff at this point. I'm not personally, but if you are and you're still afraid of the coof, then vote early. Go in there with a freaking radioactive suit if you have to. I don't care. This is quintessential to us winning because you know they are going to do all stops in order to make sure that this election is not fair. This is the only way they're going to win. I hear reports that Biden's winning Florida. I haven't seen a single Biden sign. I think I've seen one Biden shirt and one Biden sticker in the last 3 months. I see Trump signs everywhere. I see people wearing Trump attire all the time. There is no way he is winning Florida right now. And a lot of the states that Nate Silver, that got so correct the last time around, guys. I don't know. We have to stop the steal, guys. We have to stop the steal. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't watched the Joe Biden town hall, there was a moment in which he stated that he was talking specifically about Trump's foreign policy, which honestly is beyond anything. VA choice was a big one. Me personally being a vet, I thought that was a huge deal. Lowering the amount of time it took to actually go and see a doctor, especially if you wanted to go outside of the VA. I thought that was a huge deal. For me personally, the 1% of people that serve. But an even bigger part of his entire platform is the way that he deals with foreign policy. I mean, he builds up this huge, gargantuan military, a juggernaut that no one has ever seen before. And then he doesn't use it. And he's creating peace in the Middle East. Lowest tensions with North Korea in my lifetime. Kosovo and Serbia normalizing relations. Israel, UAE, Bahrain. I mean, oh my God, this guy is awesome. And the way that he wiped out ISIS, going no holds barred, I mean, the guy really has done a stand-up job. The one caveat to that was, of course, bringing in John Bolton. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. But after all that fiasco ended, the man has just been wheeling and dealing and doing a fantastic time. Anyway, like I was saying before, Joe Biden actually stated within his town hall that you got to look what's going on in Poland, what's going on in Hungary. Guys, Poland and Hungary are probably the most based European nations on the planet. It's not even close. These guys have zero terrorist attacks. Zero. They didn't take in, I don't, between both countries, I know Poland for sure, not a single Not a single refugee taken in during that whole fiasco. They are based to the hilt. They love their culture. They love their country. And of course, everyone's going to say it's racist. No, guys, it's not racist to want to continue in the tradition of your country and their forefathers. That's not racist. Wanting to stand with pride is not racist. It's not about the color of their skin. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with their culture. But of course, lefties. Racism! Guys, come on, racism! Anyway, so he pointed out Hungary and he pointed out Poland, and so they got mad. Wouldn't you? Joe Biden, this is from the Hungarian leader. Joe Biden should address corruption allegations in connection with Ukraine before resuming dealings with Hungary. Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister, said on Facebook on Saturday. I'm just going to call him S. S noted that the Democrat U.S. election candidate had worked on Central European issues for 8 years during Barack Obama's presidency. He added the U.S. had attacked constantly and lectured Central Europe. Also, the U.S. attacked Hungary when it adopted its new constitution. U.S. embassy leaders had taken part in anti-government protests in Budapest. The minister also referenced an extremely politically based opinions expressed in support of the opposition. Biden said he had been preoccupied with Ukraine. It wouldn't be much of an exaggeration to say there was a time during his vice presidency when he visited Ukraine more than he visited America beyond Washington. I mean, Joe Biden won't even answer questions from our media. So do we really expect him to answer to a foreign leader? I don't think so. I mean, the guy doesn't come out of his basement. Like I said before, not coming out till Thursday, which is debate day. I need somebody give me my catheter. I think a big part of what's going on right now, though, guys, is the censorship online with social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You know, getting slammed in the algorithm in terms of YouTube if you happen to be right-leaning. Not being able to organically rise through the algorithm and needing outside sources like Parler or Twitter or whatever in order to drive traffic. But it goes beyond that, guys. The Twitter account of the New York Post is still locked. And what they're stating is that unless Twitter removes, unless the New York Post removes the 6 posts about Hunter Biden, they will not unsuspend their account. How is it these people think that they have information about how this type of hard drives and emails were actually allocated? And even that, why is that even a rule? Why is that a rule? Because this is the stuff that shows and highlights corruption. This is the Streisand effect all over again, guys. The fact that they are blocking this content only fuels the fire. And of course, nothing is going to happen. Not a single thing. These Republicans, like Jim Jordan, who had a chance to take down these social media oligarchs, you know what he did in terms of antitrust? He said no. So stop listening to these Republican hacks. McConnell, Graham, Gowdy, Jordan. They are all bought and sold. Stop pretending like they're your friend. They're not. They don't care about us. None. Zero. They are the zeros, to be honest. How is it a major media publication is not able to post this content? And this stuff's been vetted. This stuff has been vetted. It's insanity to me, guys. And again, here we go again, guys. Twitter has suspended the account of White House COOF advisor Scott Atlas. So Scott Atlas is actually the one who is really against these whole mask mandates and stuff like that. He's saying to be safe when you're around people, but for the most part, if you're not, you shouldn't have to go out there and wear a mask. And it just seems like if you are not actively saying that everyone's going to die, that they're going to block you and they're going to censor you, saying that you are putting out false information. The CDC, as well as the World Health Organization, has changed their views on the COOF how many times? I think 12 or 13 plus times at this point. It's insane to me what is going on. 99.9997% in terms of mortality. And you can't even say that. These are numbers from the CDC. These are numbers from the CDC. And a big problem that I have with all this is the way that these deaths are counted. Every single person that dies, whether they have 2.6 comorbidities, which apparently is what is being stated through the CDC, if they die and they have the COOF, do you know what happens? They're counted as a COOF death under every single circumstance. And you saw that story before, early on, down here in Florida, motorcycle accident. Guy had the COOF. The guy has brain damage. He just got thrown off a motorcycle, and they said it was a COOF death. How many of those are out there, guys? How many? Because I feel like these numbers are massively inflated, and I would be interested in knowing what is considered a COOF death in other countries, because I refuse to believe these numbers. I refuse to believe these numbers. They're not accurate. They are truly not accurate. But it's all not, you know what, guys? We're not going to go bad news bears. And you know what? Shout out to the friend who told me specifically to, on the end of my podcast, to leave on a happy note, guys. We gotta get the juice flowing. We gotta get that dragon energy into our veins. We have to know exactly that we're fighting the good fight. And you know what? I think we all know we're fighting the good fight. And Tim Pool actually brought this up. I think we should know that we are on the right side of history because we are the ones that are condemning violence. While the leftists, even the moderate lefties, are not condemning groups like Antifa, and Joe Biden is actively out there stating that it's just an idea, while cities have been torn asunder, over $2 billion in damages, the most violence we've seen in our streets in a very, very long time. Over 30 plus people killed since George Floyd. Race riots, BLM, Antifa, arson, murder, destruction, chaos, going into suburban neighborhoods, smashing into homes. Absolute insanity. We know we are on the right side of history because we condemn violence, whether it comes from the right or it comes from the left, and the left refuses to do that. And if you look all across the history books, those of us who see the truth, who have been red-pilled and understand exactly what's going on, and know that there's not a bunch of Nazis in the streets, the Ku Klux Klan is basically nothing. It's basically 5 guys in a basement at this point. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And this is another thing. They target people like the Proud Boys. You know what? If these Antifa, if they really wanted to, get their hands wet and get their hands dirty, if you really want to go after white supremacy and you truly mean it, why don't you go after the Aryan Brotherhood? How about that? How about you go after them? Because those aren't the people you want to mess with. Those are the people that truly believe in white supremacy. And you know why they're not pushing on groups like that? Because they know they'll get killed. These people are LARPers, guys. They don't even believe in their own rhetoric. They find that old person, they find that decrepit person, they come up in a group and they attack people that they know can't defend themselves. or people that they know can defend themselves, they come in with a group of 20 plus people. They're gross. We're on the right side of history, guys. And you know we're on the right side of history because take a look at this, guys. This video is sick. It is sick. I love it. This is Trump. This is Americana. This is love. This is patriotism. This is everything you would want to see. Take a look. USA, 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 USA. Holy crap. Flying a huge American flag, 2 huge Trump 2020 signs all across this neighborhood or this city or town or wherever it is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just really cool stuff, guys. And you see this all across America. And it really is beautiful. I love the patriotism, and I really love this movement. It has been fantastic, and I love being part of it. If you got to the end of this episode, fantastic. If you're not already, please make sure to subscribe, like, and or comment. Hopefully all 4. I really appreciate it, helping this channel grow. We are moving steadily up to 500 subscribers. The Sanity stream hitting 30 plus episodes, guys. That's pretty sick too. In terms of content coming out, right now I'm working a lot in my normal job. I work retail, and it's not your normal retail job. It's a lot of heavy lifting. So really I've just been pushing out 1 video a day. Unfortunately, I want to push that to 3 at some point. But right now I'm just, trying to build up the brand, build up an army, build up the coal factory. And it's people like you that I appreciate. You guys are one of the early adopters and truly see what I'm trying to do here. And I really, really, truly appreciate you and you taking your time out of your day to watch or listen to this. The Sanity stream for me always was something that I thought, eventually I want to get to like 2 hours. That's the goal, or an hour and a half podcast. Right now we're just sitting in kind of like the 20 to 30 minute range until we get larger and larger, and then we'll start to grow and really increase things up, increase the audio that's going on right now, as well as increase the background and stuff like that, and hopefully once money starts coming into the coffers here, I will take every single dollar. If I'm not donating it to the Donald Trump campaign, I will be putting all of probably the first $5,000 to $10,000 raised through this channel directly back into this channel. So hopefully you enjoy what you see in the coming weeks and months. With that said, I love you guys. I will see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed the Sanity stream with Lucius Cole. I love ya. Patriots. Coltrane, baby. Peace. Choo choo!